Welcome to the Money Mindset and Habits podcast.
Great to be here.
Today, we're doing a deep dive into a really inspiring story. It's about Mariam, a 29-year-old office assistant.
Right. And what's fascinating is her income, she was earning about $1,800 a month.
Exactly. And despite that, she managed to build up a $25,000 savings cushion and even started investing.
And this is the key part. No high income, no side hustles, no inheritance.
None of the things people often think are required.
Right, precisely. It really challenges that whole idea that you need a huge salary to build wealth. Her story shows it's more about consistent, simple habits.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're listening and maybe feel like, oh, my income isn't high enough to save or invest, this deep dive is definitely for you.
It really is. It proves it's possible.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Mariam's background.
Yeah, context is important here. She was raised by a single mom in Detroit. And, in that situation, the focus was very much on financial survival day to day.
Makes sense. So financial planning, investing, that just wasn't really part of the conversation growing up.
Not at all. It was about making ends meet. So when she got her first full-time job at 24, earning that $1,800 a month, the main feeling was just relief. Having a stable income, being able to pay the bills, not really thinking beyond that yet.
Okay, so fast forward a couple of years, she's 26. How were things looking then?
Well, on the surface, pretty good in some ways. She was paying her bills on time, which is great.
Yeah, that's a solid foundation.
And crucially, she had no credit card debt. That's a huge plus.
Definitely. A lot of people struggle with that. But there's a but coming, isn't there?
There is. Despite doing those things right, she had absolutely zero in savings. Like nothing.
Wow. So the money was just gone by the end of the month.
Exactly. Paycheck came in, bills got paid, and poof, it disappeared. It's a situation I think a lot of people can relate to. You're not drowning in debt, maybe, but you're not getting ahead either.
Treadmill situation.
Yeah, kind of. And her mindset back then really reflected that. She basically thought, as long as I'm not in debt, I'm okay.
Sort of survival mode still, financially speaking.
Right, totally. Money was about bills, about getting by, not about growth or building anything for the future.
Okay, so something must have shifted. What was the turning point? It wasn't like she suddenly got a big promotion or anything.
No, nothing like that. It was actually something much simpler. She was just watching a YouTube video.
Oh, interesting. About finance.
It was actually about habits in general. But there was this one quote in the video that just clicked for her.
Okay, what was it?
The quote was, "Wealth is less about income and more about behavior."
Huh. Wealth is less about income and more about behavior. Simple, but yeah, I can see how that would hit home.
It really resonated. It sort of flipped the script for her, suggesting that maybe, just maybe, she could do something, even with her current income, if she changed her actions.
Okay, so that quote sparks something. What happens next? Does she immediately create some complex budget?
No, not at all. And that's what's so encouraging. Her first steps were really, really small, manageable, things anyone listening could probably do.
Like what?
Well, first, she decided to track every single dollar she spent for just 1 month. Not forever, just 1 month. And she used a simple notebook.
Okay, pen, paper, old school. I like it.
Yep. Second, she set a tiny goal. Save just $50 from her next paycheck. Not hundreds, just 50.
Manageable, concrete.
And third, she decided to read one personal finance book. Just one to start.
So tracking, a small savings goal, and a bit of education. That's it.
That was the start. And that tracking exercise, that alone was incredibly eye-opening for her.
I bet. It's amazing what you find when you actually write it all down, isn't
Oh,
it?
absolutely. Just that active awareness. She found out she was spending like $200 a month on food delivery.
Wow, okay. That adds up fast.
It really does. And then another $120 or so on just impulse buys at Target. You know how it is.
Oh, I know Target impulse buys, yeah.
And she also noticed a few subscriptions ticking away that she wasn't even using anymore. Streaming services, apps, that kind of thing.
Right, the silent money drains.
Exactly. So just by becoming aware of those things, the food delivery, the impulse buys, the unused subscriptions, she realized she could potentially free up around $400 a month.
$400 just from awareness. That's huge on an $1,800 income.
It's a massive chunk, almost 25% of her take-home pay, just leaking out unintentionally.
So awareness was step one. What behavioral changes did she actually make then?
Okay, so she didn't just see the numbers, she acted. For food delivery, she didn't cut it out completely. That's often unrealistic.
Yeah.
She just cut back, aimed for maybe twice a month instead of, multiple times a week.
Sustainable change, not extreme deprivation.
Right. She canceled those unused subscriptions. Easy win.
Yep.
And for the impulse buys, she implemented something called the 24-hour rule.
Oh, I've heard of this. Tell us how it works.
Simple idea. If she saw something non-essential she wanted to buy, she had to wait a full 24 hours before actually buying it.
Ah, so it creates a pause, breaks the instant gratification cycle.
Exactly. Gives you time to think, do I really need this, or was it just an impulse? Often, the urge just fades away after a day.
That's a great practical tip. So these changes start happening. What was the immediate impact?
Pretty significant, pretty quickly. Within just 3 months of starting these small changes, the tracking, the cutting back, the 24-hour rule, she'd managed to save $1,200.
$1,200 in 3 months, starting from zero. That must have felt amazing.
Absolutely, and a real sense of progress. And she didn't just leave it sitting in her checking account. She took another smart step.
Which was?
She opened a high-yield savings account.
Okay, explain that quickly for anyone who might not know.
Sure. It's basically a savings account, usually online, that pays a much better interest rate than your typical brick-and-mortar bank savings account. So your money grows a bit faster, even while it's just sitting there safely.
Got it. So her savings started working a little bit for her.
Exactly. And crucially, she automated the deposits. She set it up so money automatically transferred from her checking to her high-yield savings each payday.
Ah, pay yourself first. Removes the temptation to spend it.
Precisely.
Yeah?
Makes saving effortless, almost invisible. It just happens.
Okay, so she's got some savings building. She's got awareness. What about budgeting? Did she dive into spreadsheets?
She did adopt a budget, but she called it her no-drama budget.
Huh. I love that name. Sounds approachable.
Totally. It wasn't super complicated or restrictive. She used a simple framework, the 50-30-20 rule.
Okay, break that down. 50, 30, 20.
Right, so 50% of her take-home pay, $900 in our case, went to needs rent, bills, groceries, transportation, the essentials.
Correct.
Then 30%, $540, went towards savings, building that emergency fund, future goals, eventually investing.
30% is quite ambitious.
It is, but remember, she'd freed up that $400, which made it achievable for her.
Yep.
And the final 20%, $360, was for wants.
Ah, the fun money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fun, treats, going out, getting her hair done, her favorite coffee, stuff that makes life enjoyable.
So the budget wasn't about saying no to everything.
Not at all. It was about being intentional. It allowed her to enjoy life, but within a framework that prioritized saving. It wasn't about deprivation. It was about conscious allocation that makes it sustainable, you know?
Yeah. If it's too strict, people just give up.
Exactly right.
So how did this no-drama budget and the savings habit play out over time?
Well, the results were pretty impressive. After about 6 months of this consistent approach, she'd saved $3,500.
Wow.
And by the end of that first year, over $6,000 saved.
That's fantastic progress on her income level. Really shows the power of consistency.
Absolutely. Small amounts, saved consistently, really do add up.
Did she stop at just saving? Or did she start thinking about investing too?
She definitely started thinking about the next step. She realized saving was crucial for security, but investing was key for long-term growth.
Right. Making your money work for you.
So she actually used a small part of her savings wisely, I'd say, to take a basic investing course.
Smart move. Investing in her own knowledge.
Exactly.
Yep.
Build that foundation. And that course gave her the confidence to take the plunge.
Which was,
Opening a Roth IRA.
okay, another term. Roth IRA.
Right. It's a retirement investment account.
Yeah.
The key thing with a Roth is you put in money you've already paid taxes on, but then all the growth and withdrawals in retirement are completely tax-free. Big long-term benefit.
Got it. Tax-free growth. Nice.
And she didn't try to time the market or pick hot stocks or anything complex. She started really simply just putting $100 a month into index funds.
Index funds. Like baskets of stocks.
Exactly. Low-cost funds that track a broad market index, like the S&P 500. Diversified, simple, effective long-term strategy. And she used dollar-cost averaging.
Meaning she just put in the $100 every month no matter what?
Yep, every month, same amount. Whether the market was up or down, it averages out your purchase price over time, reduces risk. It was slow, steady, consistent. No drama investing, you could say.
Keeping with the theme. Love it. Okay, this seems like a good moment to mention if you're finding these tips in Mariam's journey helpful and you want more practical finance insights, definitely check out and subscribe to the Finance Tips YouTube channel.
Yeah, lots more great content there.
So we've talked a lot about the numbers, the savings, the investing, but you mentioned earlier it was about behavior and mindset. Was there an internal shift happening for Mariam too?
Oh, absolutely. That was maybe the most profound change.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just about the money in the bank. Her whole self-perception started to change.
How so?
She described it as moving from feeling like someone who was just getting by financially
Hmm.
to actually seeing herself as a builder of wealth,
Yeah.
even on her modest income. That's a huge mental leap.
That is huge. From survival to building, that changes how you approach everything, I imagine.
Totally. And this newfound confidence, this new identity, it started creating these positive ripple effects in other parts of her life.
Like what? What kind of ripples?
Well, for one, she felt comfortable actually talking about her savings goals with her coworkers, putting it out there.
That takes some guts, but can create accountability, right?
Yeah, and support potentially. And that led her to start a small money club with two of her friends.
Oh, cool. What did they do?
They just met up once a month, shared their wins, talked about challenges, supported each other, building that little community around positive financial habits.
That's brilliant. Social support makes such a difference.
It really does. And the confidence boost showed up elsewhere, too. She started looking for ways to optimize things further. Like, she actually started negotiating her bill.
Really? Like calling the cable company?
Yeah, phone company, internet provider,
Hmm.
asking for better deals, discounts, things she might not have had the confidence to do before.
Interesting. What else?
Well, she looked at her biggest expense rent, and she made a big move. She found a roommate.
Okay, that would definitely cut costs significantly.
Huge impact on her ability to save even more. And maybe the biggest ripple effect.
Yeah.
Empowered by feeling in control of her finances and, frankly, her life, she asked for a raise at work.
Did she get it?
She did. A small
Yeah.
one, but she asked, and she got it.
Wow. So managing her money, well, actually led to her making more money. It all connects.
It really does. That confidence that comes from taking control, it spills over. It's not just about budgeting. It changes how you see yourself and what you feel capable of.
So let's bring it up to the present day. Where is Mariam now? Is she still earning around the same amount?
Yeah, her income hasn't dramatically increased. It's still under $2,200 a month. But her financial picture completely transformed.
A give us the snapshot.
Right now, she has $12,000 saved in her emergency fund.
12,000. That's a serious safety net. Talk about peace of mind.
Huge peace of mind. Plus, she has $6,000 invested in her Roth IRA, working for her future.
Excellent. And debt.
Still zero debt.
Amazing. 12K emergency fund, 6,000K is invested, no debt, all while earning under $2,200 a month. That's genuinely inspiring.
It really is. And you know what else? She started giving back.
Oh, yeah.
She volunteers at her local library now, teaching free budgeting workshops, helping others get started, sharing what she learned.
Paying it forward. That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
And when people ask her, how she did it on her income, her answer is always the same.
What does she say?
She says, it wasn't about the money. It was about the mindset.
There it is again. Mindset and habits.
That's the core message, really.
So, recapping this whole journey, Mariam's story is just powerful proof, isn't it? Proof that you don't need that huge income to start building wealth.
Absolutely not. It comes down to having, like you said, simple systems, clear habits, and maybe most importantly, just the willingness to start. Even small.
Yeah, that first step doesn't have to be perfect.
Doesn't have to be huge. Just start.
So, if Mariam's story resonated with you listening today, maybe think about sharing this deep dive, especially with someone you know who might have that belief, that feeling that they just don't earn enough to save.
Yeah, this could be exactly what they need to hear. It might just plant a seed.
And maybe a final thought for everyone listening, something to kind of reflect on from Mariam's experience.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps the most powerful habit any of us can build is simply believing that we are capable of change, believing it's possible for us too.
That's self-belief. It's foundational, isn't it? Without that, it's hard to even take the first step.
So true.
And just one more reminder, don't forget to subscribe to the Finance Tips YouTube channel for more great financial insights and practical tips.
Absolutely. Well, that brings us to the end of this deep dive. Thank you so much for listening to the Money Mindset and Habits podcast.